Hey there YouTube, I'm Yukitsu, this is the Yukitsu Times, welcome to my channel, welcome back to Rome 2 Total War, and as you can see, I lost some video footage because our sound was not working for one of our episodes, which means that the episode where I captured Rome isn't one that exists. Just not there at all. So, not very eventful episode anyway, because the Visigoths didn't get the message that they weren't supposed to sack Rome for another 700 years. Or about 700 years, so they kind of sacked Rome, and then we took it over. And by Visigoths, I mean the Veneti, which are the Venetians, who actually betrayed Byzantium and not Rome. I'm pretty sure the Visigoths come from somewhere northish, somewhere around this general vicinity. Not really that sure about that particular part of Roman history, it's pretty boring. Anyway, we've got ourselves a particular problem here of Segestica being dicks and having taken Eater, and then we took it back. And now we're going to wreak unholy vengeance upon them and all their families and destroy everything they know and love. So that ought to be good. Until then, though, our army is stuck in Eater, so they're going to be recruiting a few more troops until next turn. And of course, recovering from the horrendous losses that I took retaking the city from their fairly large army, by which I mean their entire army. And yeah, we're also going to be trying to hold off our opponent in Rome, because our opponents in Rome have actually amassed quite an army. Let's just get this person over here. There we go, and then we'll be able to see what's going on in Segestica. Alright, end turn. So yeah, we have conquered Rome. It was very anticlimactic. In fact, if you look, you can see that the Romans have also been very heavily invaded by Carthage, losing Cosentia. They're probably going to be able to retake it unless they very reasonably decide that they hate us more. Syracuse has actually fallen. I didn't notice that actually. So Carthage, good for them. They're doing a good job. We're going to have to crush them before they gain momentum. Anyway, yeah, taking Rome, not actually that hard. There was just no one in there because it had already been sacked. It was very unfortunate, and some of you are probably thinking that rather than skill, I've conquered Rome by being a lucky son of a bitch, and you would be absolutely right. Yeah, not really anything special there. It would have been probably possible for me to siege them out anyway, but it was certainly a lot easier doing it this way than it would have been any other way. Hopefully we'll be able to keep it. Looks like Rome hasn't been able to mobilize their forces against us, so that's one good thing. That place is just a real hotspot around there. Oh look, rebels. Rebels that are being attacked by those guys that are to the north that are not actually my allies. Interestingly enough. Alright, let's see how things are going. Looks like Genoa is being burned. Yeah, Arminium. They want us to raise a fleet at Eater. We would get 500 bucks. Call the sea, what's that do? Plus 2 fleet recruitment capacity. That sucks tremendously, but we'd get 200, or we'd get 500 bucks. How much would it cost us to raise a fleet here? Let's just go raise forces. We only have one general left. So if one of our generals dies, we'll be utterly screwed. Let's see here. This would cost us... Well, what would we want here for a generalship? I don't really like any of these in particular. Theory of Spears would probably be the best, but yeah, we're just going to not worry about this mission. It seems like it wouldn't actually be all that worth it. Now, one of the things about rebellions is that they sort of gain momentum over time, but what this means in part is that if you just sort of go in and attack them right away, then you end up with this huge amount of unhappiness that sort of lingers in your city. If we actually let our public order get up to a higher amount, the rebellion here is going to get much, much bigger, and we're going to have a harder and harder time dealing with it, but at the same time, the actual little rebellion here is going to suck out all the malcontents out of our cities, so we'll end up with a much happier populace. Now, what we can do here is make sure that we've actually got some damn stuff in Rome. A muster field is probably a good idea, or a training field might be a good idea. A muster field we'll go with. And let's go ahead and get one consecrated ground. Oh, we've already got a consecrated ground. Yay. So that'll actually provide bonuses throughout the entire region. We'll go ahead and get the Agora because that'll be the highest happiness boost that we can afford. Legio, whatever, 7 Veneria, sounds like they've got some sort of horrible disease, is sitting over here. We can go take them out, swing north and take these guys out so that we can get a few of our reinforcements up to Ariminum. That would be a good idea. Have these guys got Greek-style buildings yet? They've only got the temple here, and that just gives me a mob, which is not really going to help me protect that area very much. Let's go ahead and deal with Segestica first, rather than dealing with the Roman problem. Let's move up here to see what's going on. What the hell? How have they got this much of an army again already? Okay, what are these guys? These are Levy Freemen, Celtic skirmishers. So they haven't really got the higher quality troops really, so we can probably go ahead and take them down. Let's go ahead and head over here. Is this an army with just the general? No, it absolutely is not. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move just across so that we're not quite across the border yet. The reason for this being, this way I can recruit a couple more troops, and we're going to go ahead and absolutely do that. Now, what have our troop balances gone for here? Yeah, recruiting a couple more of these axemen would be a good idea. They're very inexpensive, and they're quite effective if I can get them boosted up with experience. I do need these guys to garrison Eater, though, because otherwise I'll be utterly screwed as far as experience goes. Or, sorry, happiness goes. They're already pretty unhappy, but it'll help balance that out just a little bit. And that looks like all I can really do here. I need to move these guys in here. I was going to do that regardless. Okay, so military training, and that's going to bring up the experience of all these guys, which is really good for the axemen. Let's see here. I can get a new building in Larissa. That would be a good idea. But not quite right now since we don't have the money for it. We could take Neapolis. Valathri, I kind of want to be able to convert, which I won't be able to until next turn, it looks like. Okay, so let's go ahead and trash this army, and then get our garrison up there so that this peasant army of rebels doesn't do too much damage, because the longer they're there, the bigger they're going to get, and they may eventually be big enough to take Ariminum. These guys look a little bit competent, look a little bit capable, so we are going to need to take a little bit of caution fighting them. The problem I'm going to have here is that, like, our general, I can't leave my army without my general, so, like, he has to move with them, so I can't do this the way I really want to. Well, let's go ahead and attack this guy. He's going to run the hell away like a pansy. Glory and honor my ass. Okay, so, yeah, let's go ahead and swing back up and attack this guy. Okay. They're going to retreat too. Well, we can go and attack them and then force march back into Rome, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, what have they got? They've got 2 Hastati, which are very good sword units. They're quite powerful. They've got 3 levies, which are kind of a shit unit, and then they've got Servius Culio, which is a pretty neat-sounding name, but we're going to ignore that for now and just go ahead and attack. Now, we've got a pretty distinct ranged advantage because we've got slingers instead of all javelin men. All 3 of theirs are javelin men, but they've got a lot of chevrons on there, so we do have to watch out for that. But, yeah, this is going to be a pretty easy battle. We'll pick at them with our slings as much as we possibly can before we go in there, but this should not be a problem. Drinking an energy drink while I'm doing this because it's night. I mean, you drink energy drinks at night. That's when you do it. Just before you go to sleep, preferably. Okay, so we're going to have to transfer some of the units from the army here that I'm using over to the other armies just so that I can handle any rebels. I do want to have a little bit more strength in the other army, so we're going to make sure that we preserve some of our units and just don't let them get too battered up, but they'll recover quickly enough if they're spread into 2 different armies anyway, so it's not going to make a huge difference. I just have to keep enough of my troops alive so that I'll be able to easily beat the rebels as they come in. Fortunately, it's North Italian units rather than the much scarier Roman-style units. From the looks of what they had there, I thought I saw some Italian nobles, so should not be too bad. Alright. Levies over there. These guys back here. Levy pikes will anchor a flank, even though it doesn't really matter or make a lot of sense given the context, but let's just grab everything and go. Alright. And let's see here. They've got the levies up front in pretty standard fashion, and then the Hastati right behind. So once again, do have to look out for these levies because they actually have a lot of chevrons, so they're going to basically be throwing those damned javelins like machine guns, so do have to watch out for that. we're going to want to preferably position so that we're in the woods, so that we've got a better firing angle than them. Looks like they're hanging out in that shrub over here, so that'll be light cover, I think. No, it's forest. That's actually forest. Strange. Alright, so they're camping, like the AI tends to do. So we're going to head over here. Just let that sort of happen. We should be able to get quite a bit closer, or we should be able to pelt them from quite a bit further than they can retaliate from, though, so we should be able to get that advantage. And our own slingers are not half bad, so... Okay.
Commander!
Okay, so let's go ahead and start attacking. I don't mind attacking really aggressively here. Javelins are doing quite a number on us, but that's fine.
Our hidden units have been discovered. Warriors, our general is under attack.
And our general is going to be a pretty good addition to this attack on account of actually having a ranged attack. Or sorry, a charge attack. Let's see here. Let's get everybody to fire at this general over here. I'm gonna have our pikes attacking levies because I don't want to get them into pike formation. I'm just a little bit too lazy. All right. Let's intimidate their general. Get him out of here faster. And this is going to pretty much be game. Let's get our guys to stop firing into melee combat. That's just not helpful right now. Let's get all of our Illyrian guys to crack that whip. And these guys, like the Illyrian levies, just are cheap enough that they are going to lose to Hostile. That's just the way of things, but we're doing a pretty good job of this. Okay, and that's going to basically be game. The one thing is, like, you can get down to like 5 guys in your Illyrian levy unit, and they'll recover pretty quickly because they're a cheaper unit. And they get good experience fighting units like Astadi, so it's not too bad, all in all. Okay. This General's bodyguard is lasting an awfully long time. There we go. They're gone. I know that there's like a turn on and off fire at will button, but I prefer just turning around my ranged units. Alright, let's end battle. Easy enough. We did take 300 losses, which is quite a few considering they only had 540 men. Only 1 friendly fire casualty, that's good. But yeah, the most important thing is that we're getting some veterancy on these units. Even, oh, look at our general, he's got 2 silver now, that's pretty good. So yeah, we'll basically be able to reinforce our North Army with a couple. We'll throw in a couple hoplite units, and that should be enough. And there we go, shanked right in the face. Hopefully we'll get some army traditions here. Let's go ahead and I forget what these did. Okay, yeah, let's kill the captives. Let's go ahead and take our armies and okay, we'll take 2 of these units out of here. I think it's like that. Yeah, there we go. And these guys will head back into the city. I don't think I can recruit anything just yet. Yeah, that's a little bit once I get that muster field going. And these guys I can actually get back into Rome by forced marching, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Which is going to harm our ability to fight if it comes to it, but we've got the walls of Rome to protect us against the Romans, very ironically. Okay, I think that is about what we can manage. Hopefully we'll have enough troops to hold out in the event that these rebels decide to attack us. It looks like it's just plebs. Italian swordsmen are okay. Italian noble cavalry, that's actually a pretty good unit. I was hoping it would be a Roman-style general, but it looks like it's actually going to be quite a good unit. Fortunately, I did bring back hoplites as opposed to more axemen, so should be okay, hopefully. Okay, so that's that dealt with. We've got these guys coming up here. We've got these guys in the Ader. I think that's about all we can manage for this turn. Let's go ahead and check out our diplomacy tab. Carthage, they're friendly, they're trading with us, that's good. Egypt, they've decided they hate us for some reason. Don't know what we've ever done to deserve that, but whatever. The Veneti to the north are pretty much neutral to us. These guys might be able to trade with them, so let's go ahead
The
and...
gods will have me listen to you, but
Let's
do
see.
not pass the day in words without merit.
Nope, no trade for us. I think that's our best odds of trade right now, given the circumstances, so that's about all we can manage. We did actually have to worry about roads way the hell down here. I forgot about that just about. I might be able to get a trade agreement, or a peace agreement with them, but, like, honestly, we're kind of in trouble if they decide to attack here. I mean, this is not really a great place to be as far as trying to keep up with them, and that will lose us the region where we've got this edict going along here, bread and... no, we've actually got tax harvesting over here, which is good. But yeah, this army's quite tiny, it's quite puny and weak, and they've got a pretty big army of the Heraclidae over here. So what could happen is... Actually, no, Rhodes is not a walled city. Interesting. We might be able to just take them through sheer gutsiness if it comes down to it, because we could sort of have our army sneak in to Rhodes, I think, and sack their city before they can take our city, maybe? We'll have to find out. Hopefully that'll be the case. Okay, so that's about all we can accomplish for this turn. Let's go ahead and hit end turn.
My name shall be remembered.
Alright, well, the Romans have got their general who has kamikazed into our base and has a gigantic wave of reinforcements behind him. Looks like he's got pretty much the entire Roman army at his beck and call here. A lot of hastati, a couple auxiliary infantry, led by Gnaeus Scipio, which is a Triarii unit. How much have they got here? They've got about 2,000 men. I have approximately 1,000 men in this garrison here, and it's not necessarily of people who can stand up against Roman infantry necessarily all that well, but we're going to have to fight this out on the battlefield. We are outnumbered quite severely here. The thing is that the AI might glitch out, so this might be a really boring battle. I might have to cut it, because the AI is just not necessarily good at claiming walls. Especially because his general, I don't think his general is going to actually be allowed to bring the siege engines with him. We'll find out. Now, this is the problem with defending a big city like Rome, is that, like, the walls are so massive that we have to defend a lot of different places. Okay, and here we go. We've got our forces that we can array how we like. Looks like we've got a few mob units. That's all we've got for sort of these garrison units that we can use. But what we can do is we can sort of mass them along the walls. That might be a decent idea, so that we have a little bit of an idea where they're going to attack from. I do kind of want to be able to get some line of... Oh, actually, no, we're going to get line of sight of these guys as they attack us, because we're going to be able to see their general, we're going to be able to see where their units are sort of heading towards the walls, since the walls give line of sight, the walls tower as long as we control them. Looks like their general is coming in from up here all by himself, and it looks like there are indeed some siege towers here that he has gotten hold of, built himself, all four of them, just personally. He's a real badass like that. He's like a real carpenter, like a master carpenter, which will not be rivaled in this age or the next. Okay, so let's get some plebs up here. Plebs, die for Rome, which are no longer Roman. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and put our slingers up here. I do wish I would get these guys in a thinner formation, but whatever. And hopefully they'll come from that side. If not, we can always rush some of our units there from somewhere else. We're going to move our units in a pretty central position over here, just because that way I can sort of move them as necessary. And we'll have that one lonely unit over there, why not? Look at this Colosseum. That is really, really... I actually really like Rome defending it. It's just too big, though. Okay, let's go ahead and hit start battle. Okay, we got our gigantic-ass city that we got to defend against the Romans. Let's see where the Romans come in from. Now, the thing about it is that, like, the reinforcing army cannot build new ladders and just bring it in from whatever side they want.
Enemy reinforcements approaching.
Basically, what they have to do is literally run over here, grab these ladders, and man them. So that is to our advantage. Now, I'm just going to have to, like, zoom around the city and look for any position where these guys are coming from and try and see them manually. Okay, there they all are. Okay, well, shit. Everyone get over there. Just all of you guys get over here. Got one lonely little unit all the way over here, just sort of like being like, guys, the Romans are not where you thought they were going to be from. The Romans are here, guys. Please help. And yeah, so we're going to have to send some help. Fortunately, they're just sort of staying there in tower range like douchebags, so that is fortunate for us. Okay, so I don't think some of our units were moving. That's very bad. On the plus side, these guys are going to have to claw their way up into my city the long, hard way, so... And they're taking quite a lot of missile fire from these arrow towers, so that is also good for us. Even those mercenary Italian cavalry, that's a really expensive unit, really. They're quite costly. Alright. Now, they can actually get into our city without having to go get those siege towers. What they have to do, though, if they want to do that, is burn down these gatehouses. And I have got gatehouses with oil, so I could also use that. But they can actually burn that down and just enter directly into the city. They don't have to use those siege towers if they don't want to. So we do have to actually be quite cautious that they don't just rush our doors, which would really just sort of cramp our style. On the plus side, they are doing like the stupidest walk around our base, so hopefully they'll just get completely shredded by towers. That'd be fine by me. And it looks like some of our reinforcements are sort of making it here, so that's going to be fine. Alright. A lot of cavalry sort of marching about in a really strange way. Let's see here. Nice. It's Triarii are heading over that way. So it looks like the actual assault is not heading towards that door. It looks like they are in fact going to try and... It looks like they are going to try and move towards those siege engines. So I might have actually wanted to...
The enemy general is dead.
What? Well, whatever. Might be the case that I actually am going to have to defend from the side with those siege towers. Which would be really weird, because that means they've, like, circumnavigated the entire thing, gone across the river. It looks like that's actually what they're doing, yeah. Good for them. Okay, so, yeah, just hopefully as many of them as possible are going to get picked away. Okay, well, they're wasting a lot of time shooting at my guys up there. That's fine by me. I think that was even a free unit. Oh, no, that was not a free unit. Oh, well. Well, whatever. They're now shooting at these arrow towers, which are going to basically demolish them because they can't retaliate. If this were Shogun, I'd be in a lot more trouble because these Hastati would just like climb up the walls and it'd just be like, nope, we're up there, and I'd be like, oh, that's really unfortunate. I am still really thinking it's hilarious that their general just managed to make all 4 of those siege towers by himself in like a day. It's just like, no big deal, guys, no big. And now he's dead for his hubris. It's a very humbling story. And those levies are really actually holding out as far as morale goes. I like how this unit with the war dogs, like, if I don't kill all the handlers, like, all their dogs just magically regenerate. It's kind of funny. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on, what they're doing, or why. It's just, like, a lot of casualties for no good reason. Like I always say this, the siege AI in Total War games is pants. But the problem is that they could still very feasibly beat me despite being complete pants in this particular scenario, just because of like how awful, honestly, my army is at defending in a siege. Now, if I'm lucky, they'll burn down one of the gates, get boiling oil on their heads. Not that I can really remember how to use boiling oil, since I don't really use it very often. And I'll die to pikes, even though I've only got one pike unit. That would be fantastic. Look at all these poor dogs. I feel really bad for them lighting them on fire like that. I mean, it's like cruelty to animals. That one got shot in like the balls. Yeah, as a dog owner, it really just wounds me to the core to see dogs being burnt alive like that. Alright. Alright, Rome, what are you up to? This reminds me actually of the AI for Empire Total War in particular, because the Empire Total War AI just loved circling your like fortress. It just walked around in circles all day long. It's just like, I wonder if it's going to be less defended. I wonder if there's a hole in the wall on the other side of the fortress. Let's go check. Maybe the cannon's finished punching a hole in the wall on the other side. Let's walk all the way back around. And the entire time they're like getting peppered by shots and cannonballs and all that sort of great stuff. It's really, really funny, but it's also really bad. Okay, let's go ahead and hit fast forward here. And I just want to sort of figure out where the hell they're going with this. They might have a plan. They probably don't. They're probably going to just mass up in front of these gatehouses and get shot to shit very slowly. Very, very, very slowly. But you know what? That's fine with me. Okay. Well, you know what? That's not really that enlightening. Okay, so these guys are sort of wandering past outside of the range of my towers, which is better for them. There's kind of a weak point here, which is actually, I think, where I would probably attack, is this wall here. For some reason, the architects thought that, you know, we don't need a tower like here, which would cover a huge section of weakness on our walls here. We're just going to go ahead and not have defenses that work. But, you know, maybe they're going to add those in later. After all, Rome was not built in a day, so... yeah. Alright. Well... no idea what they're doing. Let's get ourselves some slingers up on this wall here. There we go. And now I remember also how to get my units into a wire formation on the walls, so that there's more of them shooting. One of the things about walls is that they do a lot less than you would like to protect your guys from enemy shooting. They can just get completely shot up by enemy shooters. It's really unfortunate. We're just going to use sort of one unit of slingers at a time. I suspect actually that our opponent is rallying up to do an assault on our gate, try and burn it down or something. Which could really be disastrous for us, potentially. I mean, there is that possibility that they'll rush our walls and burn it down pretty quickly, honestly. That would really be kind of awful. On the plus side, Rome's gates do take a long time to burn down, if I recall correctly. It's a bit like Carthage's, if I recall. Those big capital cities of famous, powerful nations often took quite a while to batter down in this game. You know, I'm probably like missing some sort of ninja raid from one side in our base that we just don't have eyes on because I'm not paying attention and I don't have a mini-map. And that's probably what's happening, but maybe like they'll try and burn down the gate and get killed before they can do it. That would be hilarious. Okay. For those of you who ever thought that siege games are boring in these sort of scenarios, you're absolutely right. The problem is that that's pretty accurate for the time. It is actually pretty boring in siege battles. Like, literally, you just sort of waited until your enemy died of starvation and you sort of sat around in your camp outside, waiting either for some night raid to pick you off or for, like, something else awful to happen to you in your sleep. Pretty much the worst. Okay, so let's go ahead and get them up there. Let's go ahead and get these guys up here. Could also put these guys like here or something. It's kind of funky. Alright. The reason I'm getting more people up here is that I suspect actually that the Sestati are going to try and burn down the gate. Because of that, we're also going to go ahead and get our militia pikemen, or levy pikemen. We're going to get them right behind there, and we're going to put them into pike formation, and that'll delay them for a little bit. Yeah, looks like they're definitely about to burn down our gate. Okay, so yeah, we want to be able to pelt them with as many arrows as possible, as quickly as possible. You can see here, Romans just tossing a few of those spears out there, or those torches out there, getting this gate fire damage. Once that gets up to 100%, the damage will start ramping up really quickly and the gates will be on fire. Right now they're just throwing them into a little pile and it's not catching. That's sort of the game's way of balancing this out instead of like letting it randomly just light immediately on fire.
Stop that screaming, you peasant Nancy!
But yeah, look at all those torches that they're throwing into a neat little wicker pile there that'll eventually ignite. If we can route this unit quickly as well, they'll basically be forced to sort of start again, kind of. Yeah, gate damage is up to 9%.
This is hot work! Keep it up!
That was some pretty deranged laughing there on the part of that guy. Alright. So those guys taking a beating, but they're dying very slowly. They will have that gate open, pretty much. We are going to want to move our unit away from there before they actually destroy the gate, because there is some like shaking damage for people on the wall in that section. So doing that is going to help us out a little bit. Looks like some of our units are forced to fire because of line of sight restriction on this unit here. So that's unfortunate, but on the other hand, getting rid of a Stati unit is going to be quite good since they're quite a powerful component of our opponent's army. This would have been a nice time to have had our elephants here instead of back in Greece, but whatever. After all, Epirus did actually bring elephants to Rome. That was actually what inspired Hannibal of Carthage to do it, so would have been appropriate. Look at those Hastati, still confident. They've lost like half their number. Yeah, so our gate is now on fire, and what this means is that we've got a short amount of time to move our units over here, over to here, and they're not going to have to attack anymore. It's just naturally going to burn down, and so that's why his unit's sort of retreating back. Fortunately, he's retreating back slowly enough that they're taking some losses since, of course, they're getting shot from behind. They're still in testudo formation, which is really good for them, but that's still going to let that unit get wiped out completely, I think. Yeah,
Our gates are utterly destroyed.
that's pretty much gone. And yeah, now they get to rush the gates. Right into a spear wall, though. Or a pike wall. Okay, so let's move some units up to support. These guys are in pike wall, right? Oops. That would have been awkward. Yeah, so this is going to basically be difficult for them to get through. Hopefully. But yeah, you can see them coming in
One of our
now.
units has used all its ammunition.
Wow, that was fast. Okay. But yeah, here you can see them sort of funneling in, and it's not the strongest unit up the front there. There's that boiling oil. Perfect. They're sort of milling around it, though. They're not really going through it. There we go. Apparently the boiling oil just automatically goes on, but it doesn't seem to do too much damage. Those war dogs have gotten shredded up, it looks like. Okay. So our pikes are holding admirably enough, but they are taking some... They're taking some fire from those enemy units. I'm gonna stay them. Actually, I think that's a levy unit. I can afford to lose these slingers over here, so I'm gonna do so. Just because that'll absorb some shots from the enemy.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Okay, we're gonna retreat all our slingers back inside the base here. Our general's not here. That was an oversight on my part. Now, what I dislike here in this position is that they are capable of getting shots in through the gatehouse here, which means that our unit is taking some missile fire, some pretty severe missile fire, which means that we're taking a lot of losses. Oh, this unit's also getting the shit kicked out of it. Jesus Christ. I should have been paying attention to that, but I was not. Okay, let's get our levies sort of back further as well. Looks like we managed to right our unit that was kind of in a wonky position, so that's good. Let's get our slingers over here.
Slingers!
These slingers are slinging away.
Infantry at your command!
How many people have these guys killed, I wonder? 99, 107... Yep, these guys are doing a good job. Okay, let's battle rhythm these guys that are in the gate there. That makes sense to me. Where is our general? Is he here yet? No, not quite. Almost here, though. Let's just get our plebs ready to throw into the breach. They might have run out of javelins already. Javelins do run out of ammunition ridiculously fast, so that may have happened already. And yeah, this is one of those situations where, like, militia pikes are just ridiculously more cost-effective than they really deserve to be. Like 180 kills. Perfect. Okay, let's make sure our general is...
Yes, Commander!
Come on. I could have sworn our general is closer than this. Oh no, it's because he's walking. Okay.
And the double!
Right, I forgot. Abilities make your general walk, which is really awful, but whatever.
Understood!
I keep doing that. I should really just wait till he's, like, in range. The reason we're not moving in units to help these levy pikemen is that these levy pikemen will essentially be losing their cohesion if they're being swamped from behind by our units that are supporting them. So we're just going to literally just let them continue on doing what they're doing. They're doing a fantastic job here. They're up to 304 kills. 304 kills. That is absurd. That is crazy. And the Romans outside are starting to really lose some numbers here. Wow, that's quite impressive, really. Now, the arrow towers have stopped firing. That's because they are considered neutral right now. It's wavering back and forth between our control and their control, so we're not in a position really where we've got a definitive edge in holding that. What I would love to see is a little bit more control back, and then gaining the ability to say that our units have got... yeah, it would give the, like, boiling oil another go, which would be fantastic and hilarious. Okay, so what we might have to do is, we're going to hit steady again for these guys, which would be a good call right now, but what I would really like is to get an opportunity to retreat them back, which would let us sort of get our units into this fray and relieve these levy pikemen, because they've done way more than their fair share of the work. This is still hilarious. And I mean, like, there's not a whole lot else that they could have potentially done, in all honesty. I mean, there's this sort of very narrow passage. They could have tried for the walls, but trying for the walls is also bullshit, so... yeah, this is just a tragic massacre. Okay, so our unit's, I think, starting to lose a bit of cohesion, and I think is probably doomed to fall pretty soon here. They're down to 46 men, 45 men. If they get out of this alive, medals for everybody, but really... I would love to figure out a way to reinforce this so that they can get out of there alive. On the other hand, when they break, they'll probably have enough men left over that I'll get out of here with some of them enough alive that they'll still be a formation. Yeah, this is... Now our opponent's just sort of stalled out there. I think they've kind of almost given up. Okay, what we're going to try and do is send in all these mobs and see if we can retreat these guys back after that happens. And this is going to disrupt their formation a little bit, but that's fine. We just need them to sort of hold off until the mob get in the way. Okay, and then we can sort of do this. And we're going to just have to spam command here. Okay, good, that worked. That worked out actually astonishingly well. Gonna get our hoplites to move into this area. Looks like we've retaken the walls with that sort of mob push, but then immediately lost it again. Wobbling back and forth. I don't know what's going on anymore. Goodness, this is just a massacre. Okay, so losing all of those mobs, I'm perfectly fine with that, because it really doesn't matter. see here. Yeah, pikemen, I mean, look at that. 476 kills. Those guys are getting some medals. So a militia pikeman with that much veterancy, like even a militia pikeman is going to be quite good after all that much. Let's see here.
We have captured a tower.
Oh good. Maybe they'll start pouring boiling oil over them again. Which looked awful, by the way. Yeah, it's pouring boiling oil on them again. They're so screwed now. That looks like they're sort of dropping canola oil on them, which would be hilarious, but, you know, you never know. I'm not sure what kind of damage that boiling oil actually does. I'm not sure if it does very much. Okay, so let's get our Hellenic Royal Cavalry to battle rhythm one of our hoplite units. Let's give it to this one. They're not doing as well. They kind of, you could use the boost. And we haven't even thrown in our Illyrians yet, although they're quite battered, so I don't really want to. Look at this carnage. What I do dislike about these games is that they actually sort of expect people to fight siege battles. You shouldn't be fighting siege battles, that's just not right. Siege battles should be one of those things that just don't happen. Oh, they flee just in time for the battle to end. Perfect.